Welcome back to RealHouseDIY. Today I'm going to show you how to troubleshoot your LG dryer that's powering on but not spinning. On my channel I have a playlist, lots of maintenance related videos for the LG washer and dryer, and please hit the like button, it will help me out. So what happened on this dryer, it was in the middle of a dry cycle and we heard a loud bang and the dryer stopped. It was still displaying the time remaining, but of course it wasn't running, wasn't spinning. That bang turned out to be the belt snapping, connects the motor to the drum. Of course, if you're not in the house while the dryer's running and the belt snaps, you're not going to hear it. Now it can make sense to see if the drum will rotate freely. Sometimes if the motor is seized, that'll be really difficult to move. Or if the rollers are damaged, that'll also be really difficult to move. But if just the belt is snapped, you might not notice any difference, it might move just fine. And it's very easy to access and work on this dryer. All you're going to need is a Phillips head screwdriver. And my dryer is up high on this pedestal stand, so I'm using a step ladder to reach up to the top. You want to unplug power first, can either unplug it, or I have my circuit breaker right next to it. Just switch it off. I can confirm it's powered off, doesn't power on, and the light inside doesn't light up when the door's open. Next, you're going to remove the top panel. For that, you have 1, 2, 3 screws to remove. And just slide it backwards. Take it off. And here's that drive belt goes around the drum, and you can tell it is broken. So there, it's snapped right in half. Next, to remove the front control panel, you have 2 screws up at the top to remove. Next, remove all the electrical connectors from the back of the control panel, being careful not to touch any components. And all of them will have a little tab that you depress in order to pull out the connector. This blue connector here, the tab that you push down is towards the front. And same with this one here. And the only thing connecting the control panel now is these little white tabs to go over the metal bracket. So you just need to lift up on the plastic and pull forward. And the control panel will come out. And put that aside. Next to remove is the front door panel. You have 4 screws up at the top here. And also remove the 2 screws at the bottom of the door when the door is open. When you get to the last screw, you don't have to worry about the panel falling out because there's this little tab here that's holding in place. So just push down on the white metal of the panel to clear that right there. It'll pull away. Then you have an electrical connector for the door sensor, and that connector just pulls straight out. Then you lift up on the door panel to get it off the latches on the bottom and put that aside. You have electrical connection for the door light. You can unplug that. Remove the lint filter. Disconnect the electrical connection for the moisture sensor. You have 2 screws to remove here to take this piece off. Here's your blower fan. You can check if that spins freely. Next, before we can get the front drum panel off, you need to take off this metal piece that's across the top. That's holding that in place. You won't be able to clear it very easily. For this one, you have 2 screws in the front, 2 screws in the top. You also have a wire going through this clip. You can take that out, lift up, and the panel will come off. Take the wire out of this clip here as well. Now we have 4 screws to remove this panel. Now you can lift this panel. Clear it from the drum. Set this aside. Finally, the drum will come right out. It looks pretty big, but this is actually fairly light. Now at this point you have access to everything that you need. You have your drum rollers. This one spins very nicely. This one does not look good, and it does not spin nicely at all. On the door panel you also have 2 more drum rollers. This one seems like it's in good shape. This one over here, very interesting. Does not move very well. Very difficult to turn. And check that out. It's got a flat right there, and that flat was oriented just like that. So you had the drum running along, wearing down that flat on the rubber. So this one will definitely need to be replaced. And you see all this debris around here that's been breaking down for a little while. So these drum rollers, that's common maintenance repair. I'm gonna need to replace these along with the belt. So likely what happened is this is breaking down, it stretched out the belt and the belt broke. Your other common maintenance replacement part, it's this idler pulley here. So you have the belt going around the motor, and then you have the idler pulley. This one's not bad, it's a little bit squeaky. I'll probably replace that as well. And you can see this also activates a switch. So when the belt is on around the drum and tight, lift that up, you hear a click. So that activates a switch. So if the belt breaks, that falls away, turns off the switch, and then the motor will stop running. And of course, if you replace these parts and the motor doesn't work, then it's either going to be the motor or the control board or another switch. You also have your thermal fuse here and a temperature sensor. This thermal fuse, that's a common replacement part as well if that fuse blows. Of course, if that fuse blows, that might indicate a problem with the heating element. I know the motor isn't seized, but I want to test the motor, make sure it's actually going to work. I'm not going to waste money on repair parts. So what I'm going to do to test out the motor, I'm going to reconnect the control panel, get it running. I'll also need to connect the door lock sensor. So you squeeze this tab here. That sensor will come out the front. Connect the door lock sensor. So I'm trying to get the motor to spin. I'll need to hold down this door lock sensor button. It'll make the dryer think that the door is closed. Now your moisture sensor, you do not need to connect that to test out the motor. That moisture sensor is only being used if you're using the sensor dry functions. If you're using manual dry settings such as speed dry or air dry, then you don't need that moisture sensor connected. And you also don't need your door light connected. It'll work fine without the door light connection. So this step of checking out the motor, this is at your own risk. You don't want to go anywhere near the blower fan or the motor, any electrical connections at all. You remember that idler pulley has a switch. You'll need that switch turned on so the dryer will think there's a belt connected. I'm going to keep that on by using a screwdriver, wedged right in there, make sure it's secure. Power is reconnected. Now turn on the power button. Set it to air dry. Hold down the door lock button. Press play. And we see the motor run and the blower fan run. Turn it off. Turn off power. I'll go disconnect power again. So now I know everything's working just fine, except for some common maintenance repairs, the drum rollers, the idler pulley, and the belt. I'm going to buy a $20 kit that's on Amazon. I'll get a link in the product description so you can go buy that. So hopefully with next day delivery, I'll get my dryer back up and running again. In the meantime, I'm going to vacuum, clean out all the dust and debris that's in here. So part 2 of this video, I'll be getting those replacement parts in, getting everything back together, seeing if the dryer runs again. Hopefully you found this video helpful. Thanks for watching.